Hi, and welcome to Introductory Probability and Statistics. I'm Dr. Ben Sloop, and I wanted to record a quick little video to introduce myself and then also to show you the courseware that we're going to use here because it's probably slightly different from what you've used in your other VCamp courses.
So I think what you guys are used to, the virtual campus or VCamp platform, you usually have read, attend, complete, and discuss. All right, much of what we're going to do in this course is going to be outside of VCamp. I'm using something called Hawk's Learning, which doesn't integrate with our learning management system. So I want to give you a quick overview of how what we're going to do relates to what you've been doing in your other VCamp courses. In VCamp you had read and attend. In Hawks this is just called learn. You will have an introductory video, and then as you read the text, the other example level videos are embedded in the text. Now that's not going to show up in VCamp. You're going to have to log into Hawks, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute to access Learn. But Learn is the equivalent of both read and attend. Now Hawks has another component which is not in VCamp called practice. Practice allows you to try multiple problems. It gives you hints, it gives you step-by-step instructions. You can see the solutions, which I don't think your VCamp platform has anything like that. So the equivalent of the complete that you guys are used to, worth 75 points, is what Hawks calls certify. And I'm going to show you that in a second. But what's nice about the certify is it uses mastery learning, which means if you get a problem wrong, you don't have to wait for the instructor to grade it to find out you did something incorrect. It immediately tells you that you've missed that one and then gives you feedbacks and lets you try it again. So there's multiple versions of every question, so that for the certify, you keep trying the problems until you eventually get them right. Whereas the complete, which you guys are probably used to in VCamp, you just turn in your assignment once and the hope that you got it right. Okay, the other thing in VCamp, we had the discussion board. For this course, I'm not using the discussion. That's not required. If you have a question you want to post on the discussion board, you're welcome to do that. But those 25 points that used to come from discussion questions are going to come from your weekly web tests, which you're going to do through Hawks. So the breakdown here, for example, week 1, there are 3 sections. So I said that those certify or complete is worth 75 points. So each one is worth 25 points. Those 25 points are going to be all or nothing. Either you made it all the way through the certify and you get all 25 points, or you didn't complete the certify and you get 0 points. Then after we do all 3 of those sections, there will be a web test, which for the web test you get 1 attempt at the question, and it's going to be the same questions that you did in the certify. However, you can take the web test up to 3 times, and your highest score contributes to those 25 points. So week 1, there's 3 sections, so each certify is worth 25 points. Okay, in week 2, there are 4 sections. Okay, so each of those would be worth 18.75 points, and then the web test is worth 25. Week 3, again, 4 sections, so 18.75, as well as week 4. Then week 5 only has 2 sections, so each one is going to be worth 37.5 points. Week 6, 4 sections, and then week 7 is just 2. So now let me show you how Hawks is going to learn. You guys are going to go to learn.hawkslearning.com and log in. I think hopefully you have already received your login information. If not, send me a message in VCamp and we will figure that out. So once I log in, I have listed here a number of courses because I'm teaching 5 different courses in the fall. You guys will probably only have this beginning statistics here. So we're going to sign into the course. Okay, so once you get in here, there is a list of things to do. I'm missing section 1.1 because I've already completed that one, but it'll tell you, what's coming up this week, what's overdue, what's coming up in the future. These are all your sections here. There is an ebook for the course if you want to view that, but I think the Learn section is going to be a little better because in Learn you have the embedded videos. If I go to the ebook, I can flip through the book here, but I don't get the example level videos. So I don't think we will use that ebook too much. Let's go back to our course here. All right, so I'm just going to pick a section. Let's say this one. All right, so for each section, you'll have this learn, practice, and then certify. We'll start with the learn, which I hope you guys do as you go through these sections. So for each section, if you go over here, there's a watch, which is an introductory video.
Measures of center. In this section,
I have linked these videos here in VCamp. However, what I could not link is as you read the text, you're going to read measures of center, so forth, and then you come to an example. When you get to an example, there are also example level videos embedded in the text.
In this example, we will be calculating sample mean,
which works out the examples for you. So that gives you a little further description. Also, under course materials, I have linked the PowerPoints. So you guys can download these and print them if you'd like. But these PowerPoint, you see that this, follows what we saw here. And then also the examples should be the same as well. So this is the example that we just started that video, example 3.1, calculating the sample mean. So if you want to print those out and annotate them, right, make yourself notes, but they're worked out here as well. All right, so for the learn section, you're going to read, you're going to pause at those examples, watch the example level videos, perhaps make some notes on the PowerPoint. So then after the learn, you're going to go to the practice. Okay, the questions in the practice are the same as certify. Okay, so here you see there are 10 questions in the practice, so there should be 10 questions in the certify. In practice, there are lots of tools that'll help you. So for example, here I can skip a problem. There are multiple versions of each problem, so if I can, down here you see try a similar problem. That'll change the problem. So I can try a couple like this. I can skip them. Another helpful thing here is there's this tutor button in the bottom. All right, the tutor section, well, that'll give you hints, or it will also work the entire problem out step by step and give you the answer. So let's look at this one for example. Here I need to find the mean, median, and mode. Well, another helpful feature, do you see copy data? We're going to be using Excel for most of our calculations. So if I hit that copy button, then I can flip over here to Excel and just paste the data and then use Excel to calculate these measures. So for example, I could calculate the mean like that rather than having to type in each number individually. And I will post Excel videos showing you how to use Excel for these. But for this one, if I go to tutor, there is also a step-by-step feature that would walk me through the calculation each step. So the first one would say, well, how many data values are there? So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4. I think that's 20 values. All right, I got that right. And then it takes me now to the next step and so forth. So in practice, you have this step-by-step feature. You can view the solutions. You can skip problems. You can try other versions of problems. Okay, so the 10 questions here are going to be the same types of questions that you see in the Certify. Okay, so now once I know how to do those, I start Certify. Now you'll have a different version of the problem, similar to the one that you just finished in practice. What's different here is I no longer have the skip option. I no longer have the try similar. The tutor button is no longer there, so I can't see the solution or get step-by-step help. Now I have to make it all the way through these 10 questions with about 70% mastery for most of them. So here do you see I have 3 strikes remaining. So strikes or lives, let's call them. So as I move through here, let's say I'm just going to guess here. This is not the correct answer, but I submit that and it says, oh my goodness, I just guessed that one correctly. Let's say I guess the next one. I say, okay, I got that wrong. So here's what we can do. We can either use one of our strikes, because remember I have to make it through all 10 of these questions with only 3 strikes, or it gives me the option to try another one. So I say, okay, I want to try another one. I don't want to accept that strike yet. So as you get these correct, you'll fill up this bar up here, and you need to make it all the way through before you run out of lives. Now, let's say I run out of lives. All right, so now I did not make it through. I missed quite a few questions, so I did not get those points. But what's nice is it says, all right, if I click here, it's going to take me back to practice and give me more questions like the ones that I missed, which is helpful. So I go back to practice. I practice those that I've missed, and then I will come back to Certify and try again. Okay, so you can keep cycling through this Certify and practice until you can get all the way through those 10 questions or however many there are. Now, here's another word of caution. Let's say I get the first 7 right, and then I still have some strikes. So let's see what might happen in that case. Okay, here you see I'm on question 7 and I still have all 3 strikes. And I answer this, I think this is bimodal, and the 2 modes are 5 and 12. Okay. Now, do you see I could quit right now, right? I could just get these last couple wrong because I have 3 strikes left and there are only 10 questions. The problem with if you do that, you'd still get the points for the Certify, but the problem is going to be when you take the web test, these questions are going to pop back up. So you don't want to, skip problems just because you have enough lives left, because that's going to come back to get you when you take the web test. We've completed this section. Here we got our 70% mastery level. So now we can go back to our to-do list here, and that has been checked off. We'll start with Learn. That's where you're going to both read and view your lecture videos, and I have provided PowerPoints for those. If you like, that as a guide, you like to print something out, have in hand for those. Then practice, you can make as many mistakes as you want. You can see the solution. You can get step-by-step help. But then Certify, you need to make it all the way through that Certify with at least 70% mastery in order to get those points for the complete. Now, you'll notice this time, do you see this one, the mastery level is set at 69% instead of 70? Well, that's because this one has 16 questions. So therefore, the number of lives you have is 5. So it's as close to 70% as I could get it. So because this one has more questions, I have more lives here, or more strikes in this section. So I hope that helps you understand how what we're going to do in Hawks here relates to what you're used to in VCamp. Also, I will put your grades for the certifying web test into the VCamp platform. The only issue here, I'm going to put your grades for the web test in VCamp under discuss. So there's no discussion question required, but your grade on the web test worth 25 points will then go into VCamp under discuss.